Hey everyone, I'm here today with Brianne Chu. Brianne, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, it's my pleasure. So let's get straight to the point. Your character, Margot, is covered in honey on the poster art. And that was the first thing I noticed when the cover art was released. However, I did not receive a satisfactory explanation as to why in the first four episodes. Can you give me even a subtle hint as to how that might play into your storyline?
I think honey um, embodies and symbolizes secrets in our show, maybe even guilt. And our poster, I think, is trying to tell you that everyone has secrets and everyone is guilty.
I like it. I like it a lot. And that's a great answer. Not giving too much away,
I'm
but also giving us
not allowed
something
to.
also giving us something to think about. So that's great. I have to say you have a lot of genre cred. You've appeared in The Haunting Hour, Scream the TV series, 47 Meters Down Uncaged, and now I know what you did last summer, the series, which for me begs the question, are you a fan of the horror genre as a viewer?
Yes, I am. I love getting scared to an extent. But I just love having my heart race or pumping, and I like to be excited. And I mean, my favorite kind of horror is more like the psychological kind where it's very character driven, very story driven, and there's very interesting personal relationships. Um, and that being tied into the horror rather than it being horror and then character coming secondary. And I think our show does a great job of doing that. But yeah, I love horror. I love Halloween, and I love going to like haunted houses. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me that I'm in so many horror projects because I enjoy it.
I love that. And I have to just say thank you for not being one of those people that's like, oh, I don't want to get typecast. I mean, you're doing what you love. And fans love that. Fans love performers that love the horror genre. Fans love performers that will, act in horror movies because it makes them happy. And that makes us happy. And I mean, it's terrific.
Thank you.
Of course. So I have to say that, having seen the first four episodes, Margot is pretty, shall we say, self-assured at times. Uh,
Seemingly confident, seemingly.
Seemingly confident. Yes, that's very good. Where do you think she gets her, what we might interpret as confidence and bold nature from, perhaps knowing her better than anyone?
I definitely think she's influenced by social media. I think at a young age, social media was present. She took advantage of that and she found success on there, and she found a following. And so that immediately boosted her sense of self. And why I say seemingly confident is because I think that confidence she's gotten from social media might be a little bit hollow, and she's using it to fill that gap inside of her. But at the end of the day, Margot is vulnerable, insecure, and she confuses love with attention and validation.
Certainly, that's a really good breakdown of your character. You really genuinely do, I think, have a deep understanding of her, and I think that always kind of shines through in the finished product. And I would say this is a case where it definitely does.
Oh, thank you.
Of course. I have to ask you though, when I said bold, I was kind of referring to the fact that, Margot seems to have no shame about live streaming from, anywhere, like absolutely anywhere. What do you think, kind of motivates that? I mean, she doesn't seem to have a lot of boundaries.
Yeah, I think the motivation is self-preservation. And when she feels lonely, when she feels misunderstood, when she feels unloved, she reaches for her phone and she goes to social media because she can get that immediate high from it, that immediate validation. And so I don't think she's necessarily trying to be inappropriate or do something that would offend other people. I think she's just trying to, again, fill a void inside herself using her phone.
Absolutely. And we all cope in different ways. So I think it's, I think it's profound that you can kind of see beneath the surface into the soul of your character. So, props to you once again for that. Uh, Brianne, did you play Margot exactly as she was written on the page, or is there anything, any quirk or idiosyncratic tendency that you perhaps brought to her that wasn't scripted?
It's interesting because immediately when I got the sides and the scripts, I felt like I understood Margot. And then when I got the job, I talked to Sarah Goodman, our showrunner. We were very much on the same page, like almost like I thought she was like reading my mind or going through my emails or something because it was insane. But it also was a sign to me that, yes, I am in good company. I am going to be understood and supported. And so I think, I took what was on the page and then I brought my own 2 cents to it. And I can only act as far as the experiences I've lived. And, you can substitute and obviously use your imagination. But to a certain degree, Margot is me. And kind of like maybe a caricature version of me or a part of me. And yeah, Margot's really interesting. And she grew throughout the show. She changed the way she spoke, the slang she used. We would find something funny and we were like, oh, Margot says that all the time now. And then it would be written into another episode. And so I did my work beforehand, but as a team, we really created her as we went.
Absolutely. So I realize that the cast probably, doesn't get final say in terms of weighing in on these decisions. But with that said, if the series gets a second season, do you think it might focus on the surviving characters like the film series did, or do you think it would be a relaunch with a brand new cast?
Yeah, I mean, I guess if any of us survive, but I think these characters are so interesting and so lovable, hateable, all of these things. And it'd be almost a shame to not get to see what happens to them next, And so, in the same vein of the franchise, I think it would be really cool to see what happens to them after the first season and maybe like how they've grown, how they've changed. And yeah, I think it'd be cool to pick up where we leave off at the end of season 1.
Absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing where season 1 does leave off after the remainder of the episodes are available. And just want to tell you that I think you're doing great and I've really enjoyed your character on the show thus far. And would just like to close by saying thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, thank you so much.